Hey beautiful people, thanks for tuning in to Takeaway. And as you know, this is the last episode of Takeaway, and for this one we spoke to Nikita Dutta. The conversation was absolutely lit and a delight because Nikita took us to the days when she was trying to figure out life, to those days. And if you are somebody who's at that stage right now, watch this video because it might help you. It might. Hi Nikita.
Hello.
How are you?
Very good, Vinay.
Firstly, let me tell you, you're looking really pretty.
Thank you.
I think we are meeting after a really long time. The last time we met was during Hasil.
Is it so?
Yes.
Oh my god. Yes,
Yes.
yes. Now since you've said it, now I recollect.
Now
You've
you-
not mentioned all this,
Yeah.
but also I think you've changed your look a little bit. Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Now I kind of recollect the whole
But
thing.
look at you. You've been looking like you've always looked really amazing.
Thank you.
So, Nikita, before, let's not, beat around the bush. Let's talk about how has all this journey been for you?
I don't know. I think I should probably just go back and start pretty much from the beginning.
We are all up for it.
Yeah. So it was back in 2008 when my dad had got posted to Bombay. Not know what I wanted to do because it's not that I was very regular at theatre. Yes, I did dance in college, but it was not like full-fledged out there. So when I went, I took part in Miss India by God's grace. I think I got selected in the first round. I got into the finalists. And the problem was when I got into the top 20 finalists and I went through the entire 1 week of training that they have, I always felt like I was a misfit because girls used to come so groomed. I was straight out of college, like raw as hell, who was kind of put into that. So I think by the time that shock sunk in, unfortunately I did not win. But then the good part was that kind of gave me a direction. When I was getting out, I got a job with Zoom. I started anchoring for them.
Yeah.
So I got on board as a VJ. But then at that time there was a bit of problem that happened because there is this whole impression that people get out of you that, because you've come into this industry, you're suddenly making a lot of money. But the truth was, I was literally not making any money because I was sitting at home waiting for Zoom to start my show. There's that one birthday I never forget when I literally had I think some 3K in my wallet. And I had every friend of mine saying that, oh my god, you've got such a cool job now, you should be taking us out and stuff like that. In my head, I was like, right, I have never been this broke in my entire life. Never. But that was a very short phase. Luckily, right after that, I think in another 10-15 days, the show went on air and everything just picked up since then. It was, I think, in 2014 when I was doing something small for Star Sports back then. And the Star Talent team got in touch with me. And they said they wanted me on board for TV. And I did my first show with them on Life OK, that was Dream Girl. Now that was a big, I don't know how to say, but that was like a big switchover. In fact, there were days when I thought I would just run away. And I was like, let the contract, bahar mein gaya, I just want to run away.
What were those days like?
So this is when my first show, we were shooting in Jodhpur. We had an 11-day schedule for my first show and I was all by myself there. So because it was my entire introductory scenes that we were shooting, my hometown scenes, so I didn't have my co-stars there. It was mainly me, of course, with the entire crew. So it's just that firstly I was not used to this whole thing that shifts are for 12-13 hours and when you're shooting outdoor, it gets more difficult. It's more, of course it's more erratic, of course it's you don't get rest in between and all of that. That was a little new for me. So I remember I had 1 day off in that entire 11-day schedule, and in between I was just like, shall I just catch a flight and run away from here? I can't take this because it's like you're literally on your toes for 14 hours a day. But of course it got better when I came back from Jodhpur and when we started the proper show shooting here. It eventually got better. I eventually got comfortable with it that I actually did.
But Nikita,
yeah.
Sorry to cut you in.
Yeah.
But what kept you going? because you were so adamant that
Yeah.
the fact that you wanted to fly back,
Yeah.
and you could have easily done that.
Right.
But what kept you going?
No, so I don't give up like that, yeah. Like if it's like once you've gone into something, you complete
That's an
it and
innate.
yeah, it's an innate thing. Like you have to finish it and come out.
Huh.
Then with the second show, it got slightly better. Though the second show, things were a little more worse for me because in between I had fallen sick with dengue, which I think had become news as well.
I think it was the national.
It was her nightmare. so this whole dream girl bit is nothing in between in front of that, because what happened then is, of course, the second show gave me a lot of name. Duje Vaaste, yeah, it gave me a lot of name. There was a lot of love that we got from the audience for it, but that did take a lot of toll, because there I actually worked straight at a stretch for about, I think, 61 days without getting a decent off. And we used to have crazy hours, like, I would come back home at 4 in the morning, I had to go back next day at like 7 in the morning, barely 2-3 hours in the I used to spend at home in a day. And of course the whole show initially revolved around me, so it's good in terms of, yes, the audience likes to see that, but then health wise, physically, it does take a toll. So I think somewhere that kind of got to me, and I had fallen sick with leptospirosis. It's very funny when I say this, but because when I had got admitted in the hospital, the doctors never checked me for it, because they said this happens in very filthy areas. And you said you live here, so we never checked you for it. And I said, you don't know where I work. That's a very filthy area. So, and I took an early discharge because the shoot was on hold. Within a month, I got a relapse of dengue and lepto again. And that's when I got a relapse, it got prolonged and I was in the hospital for a good 25 days. So that was a very bad time, because then within a week the show shut down.
There were fans.
There was a lot of hatred I got from the fans. There was a lot of bad name that got circulated, because everybody just thought that I have got a film or I'm getting into Big Boss, and that's why I got out of the show. In my head, I was less like, I just wish that was true. I really wish that was true. But yeah,
mosquitoes are sucking my blood.
I swear. Even when I went on set after I got out of the hospital for that 1 week of shoot and the show was shutting to finally give it a climax, the kind of things I used to get to hear, I mean, I used to really keep myself together that no, you just like do it like because you have also given it all your blood, sweat, everything. You've treated it like a baby. So like just give it all you can right now and get done with it. I still remember there was this post I had put up on social media on the last day of our shoot, and there were people who had like actually written that why didn't you just die in the hospital and you should have just never come back. Like till date, I think that's my post with the longest number of comments. I think more than 1,000 comments on it, which are just like this whole war. There are some people in favor, some people are saying that yeah, you should have just died because of the show's ending. So like it's scary. That I know that's a form of love, but it's scary to some level.
And it would be so depressing.
It is really depressing.
So there came a phase where people were also doubting.
Yes, they actually doubted me. They doubted my ethics. They doubted the whole fact that I might sham, I might fake an illness. They actually went to that extent. Yeah, so that was a tiny phase. Yeah.
But what did you learn from it? Like, was there something that you probably learned from it and you were like, okay, this has happened in my life, and
Yeah, I did. I realized there needs to be a point where you always draw a line, which I never thought of it before. So I think somewhere, I don't know, I wouldn't say it's childishness or what, maybe over enthusiastic, being over enthusiastic, that you tend to give in more than you can. So you need to be smart and draw a line so that you can sustain more rather than giving into the moment where people are pressurizing you. So I think a lot of that happened with me in Duje ke Vaaste.
Also, Nikita, because you have been through a lot, right?
Yeah.
From that moment where you were, participating in Miss India, where you had to, where your morale was like so down.
Yeah.
It got down, and then the time when the entire fiasco happened and the producers. So all of this really affects one's self-confidence.
It does.
How do you bounce back? How do you eventually make sure that I'm not gonna let this affect my self-confidence? What's your?
So I think it's the whole thing is you need to kind of take it in your stride. You have to. So I'll give you small examples. Like in Miss India, I was told to be the fattest contestant. Like constantly, I remember, I had the team coming and telling me you need to work on your thighs and this is not working and you need to trim down. And it was more like you can't just trim down overnight in a month. That did take a toll on my confidence. I think somewhere the reason why I was low on confidence during Miss India in that 1 month was because constantly in the back of my head I used to be like, oh my god, I am a misfit. I am a little heavier than the rest of the 19 people here on stage. So the way I took it in my stride was that that's when I got entirely into fitness.
What was that one lowest moment where you felt like, if you've been through, where you felt like, God, I cannot do this?
To be honest, I think the two most lowest moments for me have been post Miss India and post Duje ke Vaaste. Those were the toughest times that also were elongated for quite a bit because at that moment, no, it's very difficult to actually go out and share also with anybody how you're feeling. It's probably just your close family and your very close one, two friends who know what you're going through. You can't really go out in the open and tell people out there.
Today, when you see people, when you see probably a young crowd, or when you see your contemporaries, what do you think they are doing wrong? Probably, what do you think like they shouldn't be doing to achieve what they want to achieve?
I don't know. So see, it's a very simple funda to each their own. I just feel that one thing which I never understood and I still fail to understand today is that I think people are too driven by the whole stardom factor. That sometimes I feel is not the best way to look at it, because a lot of times people have asked that why do you want to be a star, and I'm just like, I don't want to be a star. Like if I become a star, it's great, but it's not that I'm striving to be a star.
You
My
don't make up
job,
for
my job is to be an actor. My job is to be a good actor. My job is, what I want to do is I want to do good films. I want to do good characters.
What do you think you did right to be where you are? What do you think, according to you, made your dreams come true?
I just feel I think you should not kind of do what everybody is doing here. That is one thing you should try and stay away from, because even before I started working, how I've been in school, how I've been through college, I have been the person who doesn't like doing what everybody is doing for the heck of it.
Yeah, I can.
So, I mean, something as small as tasting alcohol for the first time. Back in college, I used to always keep sipping on Maaza. Of course, I won't have it anymore now. It's got too much sugar. But I used to overdose on Maaza because I never drank then. My whole thing was my first drink has to be with my dad officially, which happened on my sister's engagement. So, I mean, that's just a small example of how I did not kind of give in to the peer pressure, or how I did not give in to what everybody else was doing at that moment. Even post Miss India, when everybody was taking up ramp shows one after the other, at times I used to feel like that, have I taken the right decision by choosing not to walk on the ramp? Like everybody is working, I'm the only one who's right now sitting at home. But I feel that was the best decision I took, because after that I got the perfect job. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. And even when I had taken the decision to get into TV, I had everybody around me saying that, why are you getting into TV? And I was like, okay, I don't have a godfather sitting who's going to give me work. It's the best way to learn how to act and also to make money. So I'm going to do TV. So yes, so I'm just saying that I think the one principle that you need to follow is that do not just do what everybody is doing for the heck of it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
It's
you
been
so
a good chat. I've spoken so much in such a long time.
Yeah, which feels so great because we've never really spoken much about these things.
We haven't.
So it feels great, but before we go, what is the one thing you want people like me, you want anyone who's watching this episode, you want us to take away from your journey?
So one thing, as I just told you also, is that do not fall for what the world is up to. Do not fall for trends, as simple as fashion trends also. I refuse to follow them. Do not fall for trends. Do what you feel like and do what your heart says. Figure out first what you feel like, and then do whatever your heart says. Do not listen to what everybody around has to say or do.
That's
I think that is somewhere made me what the kind of person I am, what I have managed to do, that is what has made me. So this is something I really stick to. Yeah, you could be wrong. You could really be wrong. But you will learn by yourself.
Take onus and move on.
Yes, exactly. You will learn by yourself.
That's, I think, something really important.
Yes, it is.
One important piece of advice that we all
Yes,
needed to listen
of
to.
course.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, yeah. It's been lovely,
It's
Vinay.
been lovely. Thank you for opening the door to let us into your journey, and we really hope to see some really great work.
Of course, thank you. I hope so. Fingers crossed. I can continue and like do something better.
This was absolutely an amazing journey for me. You know, with each episode, I have evolved a bit. And I want to know what's your takeaway from this show. So go to the comments below and let us know what's your takeaway from this show. And as you know the drill, hit the like button, share the video and subscribe to the channel because we come up with new videos every day. And keep smiling. Keep smiling. That's right.